Fallen leaves paint the ground in their colors. Every day the clouds sweep over us. The world is slowly losing its color. As I sit, staring at the window and ask, how did you get this low? The routines repeat time after time, days merging, losing their meaning. I tell myself it's just one of those days. Forgetting to eat, forgetting to sleep, forgetting to live, all as punishment for myself. I ask, how did you get this low? First it was May, then it was June, and now it's suddenly the end of October. Summer is gone once again, and all that's left is this bitter feeling inside. Lately, all I've been doing is rolling around in bed, feeling sorry for myself. Well, maybe not sorry for myself. It's something closer to anger. Anger at my failings, how I let time surprise me yet again, and how I let myself down. At the tail end of May, I turned 20. Even though nothing truly changed, I felt lost. Maybe it was because it coincided with the end of my studies that had me feeling this horrible anxiety every time I thought about the future. But one fateful day, I decided to return to my childhood neighborhood. And there, I finally found some answers. It seemed that the familiar places I hadn't visited in years cleared my mind. I remember sitting at the edge of a cliff overlooking my old school and thinking, I should make a film about these thoughts. A couple of weeks later, it was my friend's birthday. I didn't really know how to feel about going, as I only knew one person there, but I went there anyway, and surprisingly enough, had a great time. We stayed at a bar until the sun rose the next morning, and then we knew it was time to go home. As I started my way home, I noticed the lack of people around me. The bustling city was quiet, not a person around to see me. It was just me, the city, and some good music. On the way home, I saw more wild animals than I had seen in ages. I felt a deep appreciation for the quiet. That appreciation was so deep that I knew I had to make a film to capture that emotion I felt back there. I've always enjoyed travel films and content. Something about seeing a stranger travel the world gripped me. I wanted to do it too. And that's how at the start of 2024, I started planning a cycling trip on the coastline of Finland. It wouldn't be as glamorous as the trips I had seen before, but it was mine. And as it was my first time doing something like that, I decided to play it relatively safe. And thus, I kept planning. Until summer was approaching, and I had an even better idea. What if I document the trip? I wanted to make a small travel film where I'd be traveling all alone with my camera, showing people what I'd see. I also fell in love with the idea of bringing a camcorder to that trip. The combination of old and new would be amazing. I was hopeful that finally I'd be making a special film. And now, it's months later, and I accomplished nothing. Either I forgot to keep planning, or I kept making excuses that I had work coming up and thus had no time. And now I wake up and remember this feeling of bitterness. The bitterness that has eaten me from the inside. The way I felt myself keeps repeating in my head. Why can't I just focus on the thing that makes me the happiest? Why can't I just make films instead of being bitter? Why can't my motivation stay? Why do I have to feel this way? Eyes to the ceiling. Time keeps ticking. I feel numb. The answer evades, running from my mind's grasp. While outside the world's shrinking, as I slowly keep sinking. The answer so near, yet so far, while silence fills the air. My mind's racing, searching for the answer, the key to freeing my mind. Helpless, I cry out, but all I hear is an echo. The answer, I must find the answer. The feeling of bitterness seems to be gone. Instead, it's been replaced by a feeling of emptiness, accompanied by numbness. I just can't figure out why I must feel this way. What did I punish myself for? What good did it bring? Now that the bitterness is gone, I don't know what I have left. Maybe it would be better to feel that bitter feeling rather than nothing. It was a familiar feeling I could rely on. I knew that it wouldn't be going anywhere. I could stew in my own bitterness. But now it's gone. Maybe it's for the better. But now I'm left alone in the state of confusion, searching for answers. Why do I lose track of time? Why can't I focus on making films when it's the one thing I want to do? Why have I allowed ordinary things to spiral into this? It's ridiculous to have reached this point over something as trivial as not making the films I wanted to. But is that really why I was so angry at myself? If I'm being honest with myself, no, it wasn't. I guess the reason why I was so bitter was that I had failed myself. I had motivation, goals, and a real drive to create something amazing. And I let that opportunity pass me by. Of course, those perfect summer days I've dreamt of will come by next year and the years after that, but they're not here now. All I can do is wait, and I don't want to wait. Time is precious, and I don't want to waste it. And maybe all of this is about time in the end. I had this deep fear of losing time and wasting it. But doesn't everyone have that? I'd hope so. Maybe it reassures me a bit, because the weight of time is so heavy. It's all we know. It's the same thing as our life. When our life ends, so does time. I want to use it well, but it's so hard. That weight might be too heavy for me. What if I don't have time for the things I want? And what if I run out of time? The numbness is gone, it's all left behind, fueled by the weight of time. Another day, another night. Answers I had found, but freedom I hadn't. One weight replaced by another. My head's in all kinds of a mess. Staring at the minutes passing by, never to be seen again. I mumble words in silence. I care so much that I care so little. All I want, weighed down by the responsibility of time. Every time I think about time, I start to hear the noise of a clock ticking in the back of my head. It's almost mocking me, telling me that I can't stop time and that every moment spent thinking is a moment wasted. But I can't stop thinking about it. The thought that every waking moment is time I'll never get back is something I can't comprehend, or maybe I can, but just don't want to. Thoughts of time just seem too burdensome. If time never stops, should I never stop? Should I just work 24/7 for the rest of my life without any rest? I know that's not the answer, but why? Why isn't the answer to always work and go toward your goal? It just seems like the smartest way of going about life. If time never stops, neither should you. But that just isn't sustainable. I know that. Rest is important, but I can't help but feel guilty at times of rest. If I'm not making something at all times, and it feels like I'm wasting time, I want to get rid of that feeling. My chronic creativity might be my favorite part of myself, but at the same time, when it's not controlled, I hate it. That drive to create has brought me so much joy in life, but it doesn't care about the rest. It doesn't care about life. As much as I'd like to be able to create whatever, whenever, it isn't sustainable. And it isn't the only thing in my life. I've got friends, family, and obligations I have to follow through on, and unfortunately, those things need to take precedence at times. When I'm doing other things and not focusing on film like during last summer, I wasn't just sitting on my ass all day. I was living life, meeting new people, hanging out with friends, making memories I'll never forget. Simply, I was enjoying living, and somehow I managed to make that enjoyment into bitterness, hate, and sadness. I was able to deceive myself into believing I was doing something wrong. Obviously, I'm sad about the ideas I missed, but what if I made them? Would I be happier? I honestly don't know. But one thing I know is that I wouldn't have made all these amazing memories with the people I love. The people who've helped me through everything, the people I want to spend the rest of my life making memories with. I was once told that you need to live life before making films, and I think I now understand it. And even though I've got so much life ahead of me and so many experiences to live through, I can confidently say that I truly lived life last summer. I had bad experiences, good experiences, and experiences I'll never forget. All of those moments have changed me and made me grow, so maybe it was okay that I took a break. Even the self-loathing was something that has changed me as a person. The scary thought of time never stopping doesn't seem so scary anymore. Time doesn't vanish, it builds on top of itself. And just like time, life builds on top of itself. You'll grow and learn, and even if you make mistakes, it's not the end of the world. Just take that experience and move forward. Move forward to the experience that'll teach you. Let time guide you along. Breathing's gotten easier. Under the heavy burden of time, I've learned to breathe. Time's wasted, never to be seen again, but that's alright. Time will continue onward, and so should I. I learned to stand on my own 2 feet again. Maybe I'll step outside, no longer weighed down by mistakes of the past. Bitterness and helplessness dissolved in the past. I'll take baby steps, careful not to trip, until one day I'll learn to run. Maybe this time I'll live freer than the birds.
Vittu mitä paskaa.